My name is Marvin D'Souza. I'm an SE with Cisco. In this video, we're going to look at inserting ASAV within a service contract between two EPGs. Primarily, you're going to have two EPGs, the EPG contractor and the EPG DB1. You're going to insert, using a service graph template, a firewall, which is a Cisco ASAV. They're also going to configure the VM and the firewall using a device package within the APIC controller. Let me pull over my vCenter environment and show you what I'm talking about. So within my vCenter environment, I have my ASAV firepower, and it's got two network interfaces that are in quarantine zone. After my configuration, we should see the ASAV firepower reconfigured port groups by APIC controller. Let's get started. Let's maybe pull over my APIC controller here. So this is my APIC controller that manages my ACI. I'm going to go into layer 4 through 7 services. I'm going to click on layer 4 through 7 devices. Right click and create layer 4 through 7 device. I'm going to leave the manage box checked in this instance because I have a device package. The device package I'm going to be using is a Cisco ASA 1.2, which can be downloaded directly from the Cisco website. I'm going to call this Cisco ASA. It's a firewall. It's a virtual firewall. It's going to be in this VM domain. Cisco. It's an ASAV. And its function type is going to be go-to. So my username is admin. Password Cisco 3. Let me pull over my firewall. In order to configure your firewall to be ready to be accessed by APIC controller, you have to have at least a management interface configured with an IP address that's reachable by your APIC controller. And pretty much that's about it. And also enable it obviously for web and SSH access and give it a username and password. That username and password you get for web access is what I'm using here. I use HTTPS as a management port, and then the IP address of my APIC controller. Here I'm going to select the VM. In my case, it's ASAV _ firewall. I'm going to add the ports. Here, contractor is just a name. It has nothing really to do with the EPG. DB1 would be my provider. Again, it's just a name. It has really nothing to do with the EPGs. So I've got all this configuration done. Now when I click on next, we should see the state of this device. So what's going to happen as soon as I click on next, my APIC controller is going to reach out to this VM here, ASAV Firepower, and log in to it using these credentials provided. If all is configured right, I should see the state change to stable. Here we're not going to do any failover configuration. I'm just going to click finish. So now if I highlight my Cisco ASAV, this device state should means reach stable. Once it reaches stable, that means my APIC controller has logged in and can configure or has access to my ASA. So now let's create, using this device, let's create a service graph template. So I'm going to right click here, I'm going to click create service graph template. I want to drag the new firewall, managed firewall I just created in between these two EPGs. Consumer and provider. I have not named the EPGs yet, which I will do in the next step. Again, this is just a name. For consistency, I'm going to choose the same name. I want my firewall to be routed, and this is the profile, routed profile. I'm going to hit submit. Now I got to apply this template, so I'll right click on the template I just created, hit apply. Now I will choose my contract. So I will choose my APG, sorry. So I'm going to choose the contractor as my consumer here. And on my provider, I will choose DB1. Let me name this contract. For now, I'm not going to use any filters in this contract. I'm going to leave it blank. Click Next. And this is basically a summary of everything we've just configured up to this point. Then I click Next here. I'll pull over my vCenter, and we should see APIC logging to. We won't see the login process, but we will see APIC reconfigure my VM, the ASA firepower within vCenter. Let's click Next. Actually, one more step. Apologize. So here, click on all parameters. And here, I can actually configure my firewall. Here I have multiple choices, or I can scroll here through on the left panel here through these features and choose a specific. I'm just going to go to interfaces. I'm going to reconfigure the interface. So here with the interfaces, I'm going to click on interface specific configuration. So this is for my external interface. Interface specific configuration. Expand IP4. Double click that. Yeah, I'm going to put in my IP address information. So let me pull my PowerPoint back up and see what IP addressing scheme I chose. So, chosen for my consumer, which will be my external, will be 155.0 and 165.0 for my provider. /24. That's that. Open up my internal. The only thing I wanted to show you here is if you look here, scroll further down, it's automatically adding a security level for my external interface as well. So you can change that if you want to or need to for your environment. I don't need to for this lab, so I'm going to leave it as default. Terminal specific, IPv4, double click IPv4. So this will be the IP address for my internal interface. Scroll down, I should be able to see my security level, which is 100. So everything looks good here. I got no red indicators, meaning there are no problems, no issues. So I'm going to go over to my access list. I'm going to create an access list. So an access list entry within the existing access list. I would hit plus sign here. That opens up a new access entry. Plug IP. Hit update. You'll notice I now have within the new access list, access entry I just created, I have this red box. And that's because I have two pieces of information. I need to plug in the action. This is permit or deny. This be a permit. Okay. It is case sensitive and it is sensitive to the spelling as well. So be cautious of that. It will give you an indication of the red indicator if you put entry. So this is just the order. Since I only have 3, it really doesn't make any difference. And I can see everything's blue again, so no issues. So now when I click Finish, what I was mentioning earlier was I should be able to see my configuration changes here take place as APIC reconfigures my VM. I'll click Finish. And now we should just watch APIC controller reconfigure. So a port group has been added. Now we just gotta wait and see how things look. So one interface has been configured. The second interface to be configured as well. And my second interface is configured as well. So both interfaces were configured. So now let me pull over my ASA, my ASDM, showing up my ASA. So this is my ASA, and as you saw, my refresh button was pinged for a second, that means there has a refresh has occurred. So let's click on refresh and see if there are any changes. And as you can see, my interfaces have been reconfigured based on whatever I put in within my device package in APIC controller. So APIC has not only reconfigured my VM within vCenter, it's also reconfigured my ASAV using my management interface to access it and the username and password I provided earlier. Let's look at the firewall, let's look at access rules, and I should have the IP rule I just created. Okay, so now let's reconfigure our endpoints within the EPGs. So we have, let's use app as our contractor one. So look at this machine here. I'll choose, that's already a contractor zone, so that's good. Otherwise I would just drop down and choose the appropriate zone, which is contractor. Okay, let's log into this machine. So this is there. So it's in a different zone. Let's reconfigure this IP here. So this had to be 155. So it's 155. Okay. So you can ping on. Actually, let's configure the other one first. So this will be in my DB zone. Let's check. Make sure it's in the DB zone. So this one is in the DB zone. Okay. Let's log into it as well. It's IP address. It's in the 170, so let's choose this. See if we can ping our gateway. We sometimes cannot ping it, I've noticed that, because the ARP entry is not formed yet on the firewall. So let's go to our firewall and see if we can figure that out. Here's 55. Okay, successful. So now we should be able to go back to our VMs, which are the endpoints. Here, try pinging again. There it is. Go to the other one. Okay, good. I'm going to both. Now let's see if I can ping across. So, from here I will try one. I can ping it. Now let's check and see within our ASDM and within our firewall if I can see pings. So I'll do a debug for pings, as well as let me open up monitoring within my ASAV. soon as I hit the ping, in the back here, I'm getting information here. Okay, so we're going from 165 to 155. Let's look at the firewall itself. So I've got echo reply from 155, 165.10, 155.10. So as you can see, the ping's working. And there it is, 155 to 165. So there you have it. We've configured ASAV. We've got the hit counter now showing us that we're getting hits on this access list. So we know everything's working and everything's going through our ASA between those two EPGs. So we have, let's go back to our AP controller real quick. Now let's look at our EPGs. So if you look at our EPGs here, I've got contractor and highlight contractor here. Contractor, go to operational, and I should see the 192.168.155.10. You see that IP address there? It's on the third row left, all the way to the left, the 155.10. And if I go to BB1 right here, go to operational, I should see the 192.168.165.10 as the second row all the way to the right. So there you have it. I hope you found this video informational and enjoyed watching it. And you know, this is a really easy way for you to add Blade 4-7 service within ACI and using ASAV as your service provider. Okay. Another thing to watch for is false. You really don't want to see any false when you're configuring these two devices. So you have a clear all green status. So thanks again for watching, guys.